Good morning, everybody. January 12th, 2022. Today's show is dedicated to Mike Eddy. Mike Eddy is a friend of mine that I grew up with in high school. He had passed away of an overdose. He was hands down the best drummer I ever met in my entire life. He taught me everything I knew about drumming. I could just sit there and watch this dude play the drums in awe. He was so good. I remember one time I had gotten high and I had done a Suboxone that day and I got a bunch of perks later on and I ended up doing the perks. I hung out with him and a buddy of mine, Steve, and we're just fucking hanging out and I'm sick as shit because I did Suboxone and then I did Percocet, so I'm really, really sick. What happens is they like counteract each other and I'm fucking horrible time. And Mike and Steve both were like, dude, Jimmy, what are you doing, bro? You're better than this. You shouldn't be fucking around with these things, dude. Get your shit together, yada, yada, yada. Mike was a really funny guy. I remember he came on to our senior prom bus. He didn't even go to senior prom, but we ended up driving to pick him up. Man, what a great guy he was. Rest in peace, Mike Eddy. He's another friend of mine from home who passed away as a result of the disease of addiction. And, you know, whenever I go home, I always take time to say what up to Mike and stop by his site. But anyways, moving forward, welcome to the podcast, welcome to the show, welcome to the episode. My name is Jimi Diamond. I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor. I've been working in the industry with addicts hands-on for over 6 years, personal and long-term recovery. Oh, shit, dude. I had a stand-up show last night, and it was such a tough fucking crowd, man. They did not like heroin jokes, so I made a whole bunch of heroin jokes, and they did not go good. If you're interested in learning more and actually seeing that show, I should be getting the footage soon, and I'll be airing that on my other YouTube channel, Jimi Diamond Comedic Genius. So if you want to go to Jimi Diamond Comedy, you can see some of my other stand-up, my other YouTube page. But, dude, fuck, man. All the comedians, dude, they're all going in, and the crowd was just low energy. None of them were drinking, surprisingly. And, bro, they were just low energy. I made a bunch of heroin jokes. Every comedian that would go out, they'd come back in, and they would just be beaten, dude. Like, nobody was laughing. It was fucking tough. Everybody said I did good. So the people who did go to see me perform said that I did well. I had a couple good one-liners, but I just got to get better at writing jokes, dude. I got to get better at it, you know? And this is going right in line with what the fuck we're going to be talking about today, which is a spiritual awakening. You know, I had a spiritual awakening last night, you know? It's not, I mean, I could be better, you know, but I mean, it's just the crowd, dude. You know, the crowd wasn't loving it, but I was like, yo, I gotta be better at writing jokes. I gotta get fucking better at this. It shouldn't matter if the crowd's bad or not. I should be able to go out there and perform, grab the attention, you know. Elvis, it didn't matter if it was a bad crowd or not. Elvis fucking killed it. You know, Mitch Hedberg would kill it. George Carlin would kill it. I just got to come up with better material. I blame it on my material, dude. I shouldn't have fucking talked about heroin. That was so stupid. The whole fucking time, all I did was just talk about goddamn heroin, and nobody laughed at my jokes. So, moving forward, we're going to talk about a spiritual awakening today. And let's just start off by what is a spiritual awakening. And it's a term that is given to describe a subjective experience to which an individual's ego transcends their ordinary, finite sense of self to encompass a wider, infinite sense of truth or reality. So, a subjective experience in which an individual's ego transcends their ordinary. Okay. First off, I do not represent any 12-step program. I am not a doctor. I am not a fucking psychologist. So anything we talk about today, take with a grain of salt, dude. Okay? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anything I have to say. I wouldn't even recommend you showing this to people, but some people like what I say. Some people like what I do. So that's why I fucking do it. But all right. So this is saying that a spiritual awakening. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, right the fuck now. Click that button. Make sure you don't miss any of these videos. I drop them every day. I try to drop them every day, sometimes 2 a day. But just fucking like, subscribe, comment. I want to know about your spiritual awakening. What does a spiritual awakening mean to you? And let's get into it. So this is saying that spiritual awakening is one, an experience. So it's a experience that you have that causes an individual's ego. So an ego is what we think of ourself, our self-esteem or self-importance. Transcends their ordinary. So it transcends. So when I think of like a spirit transcending, I imagine like those movies when someone dies and the spirit like comes out of them and they're like looking down at their body. That's what I'm imagining when I think of a transcendent experience. Okay, now this is the ego transcends. So who I think I am, my sense of self-importance transcends the ordinary. So I could either come to believe that I am more than or less than. It's transcending. It doesn't need to transcend up. It could also transcend down. Now, this spiritual awakening, when you hear spiritual awakening in 12-step programs, usually it's discussed in the essence of having had a spiritual awakening as a result of the 12 steps. So what that is saying is that this specific spiritual awakening, okay, this specific experience where the individual's ego transcends their ordinary is as a result of working the 12 steps. Your spiritual, like your experience can transcend your ego and many other things. There's many experiences that can cause us. As a result of being a parent, someone's individual ego can transcend. As a result of fucking making a mistake, right? As a result of my experience last night in the stand-up show, my ego transcend. I'm not that fucking funny. I said to myself, holy shit. Usually I'm like, I'm the funniest motherfucker out here. And last night I was like, yo, I am not funny. I had a spiritual awakening. I gotta be fucking funnier. I gotta be better at this. And that's as a result of not getting laughs on stage. The subjective experience, okay? The experience is subjective. It depends. It's always different. Okay, your ego is going to transcend in all different manners as a result of whatever you're doing. This specific spiritual awakening that we're talking about is as a result of working the 12 steps, okay? Listen up. How will I know when I have had a spiritual awakening? How the fuck am I going to know when I have had a spiritual awakening? Today, we're going to try to figure that out. For many of us, a spiritual awakening comes gradually. Perhaps our first spiritual awareness is as simple as a new appreciation for life. So, maybe even simply becoming spiritually aware. You don't need to be awakened, but just spiritually aware. Aware that the opportunity to transcend is available. Just knowing that, oh man, like I could have died out there on the streets. That in itself is a transcendent, moment. And bro, I mean, my first spiritual awakening as a parent, let's say, is when I had a kid. I was like, wow, all of this could have just been not happened. All of this could have not happened. So fast, so easy. And I had that same reaction. The only reason I'm able to have that spiritual awakening is because I had a spiritual awakening as a result of working the 12 steps. Maybe one day we'll suddenly discover the sound of singing birds in the early morning. The simple beauty of a flower may remind us that there is a power greater than ourselves at work around us. So this is actually talking about those really small spiritual awarenesses. So what's funny is that they're describing just senses coming back. Just being aware of your surroundings. Like, if you're not high, if you're not nodding out, or you're not focused on drinking and listening to music and doing cocaine and doing all that shit, bro, then you may fucking hear the birds singing. You may fucking watch the sunrise, dude. These are things that you may experience just as a result of not getting high, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't take long for these things to happen, bro. They just fucking start, Simply just like stopping and looking at a fucking flower. Sometimes, like this morning, I went outside, I see the frost on the ground, and I'm like, wow, that's fucking sick. I don't know. It was just like a moment. It's cold, frost on the ground. I mean, it's just a cool moment. And it's not like a spiritual awakening, but it is awareness. I'm aware that this is a moment, that's something special over there. It's almost like an acid trip, dude. Like, when I'm on acid, everything is fucking cool. Everything has, like, its own story, its own life, dude. And that's what it's like when you become just more spiritually aware and in tune as a result, just as a result of not getting high. That's it. Just not getting high. There's other things that you can do to improve this and make it fucking go better along the way, but this is just as a result of not getting high. And we start to see that, man, this is just out of my control. These are things that are just out of my control. Your ego transcends and you become smaller, right? That's exactly what this is talking about. Often our spiritual awakening is something that grows stronger over time. So you become more woke, okay? Bro, even physical awakening, like your physical awakening is something that grows stronger over time. Like when you first wake up, you're not like alert. You know, you're you can barely see, you're walking around, can't really fucking focus on stuff, you know. That's the same thing with a spiritual awakening. It gets stronger as the day goes on, as time goes on, the more you're focused on it. You know, right now it's 8 a.m. I woke up at fucking 5, it's 8 a.m. I am more awake now than when I was earlier. And that's as time goes on, my awakeness grows stronger. Scientifically, that's just chemicals changing in my brain. My melatonin is lowering, some other fucking chemical called like antecedrin or something like that is fucking raising. You know what I mean? We can strive for more spiritual awareness simply by living our lives. So, dude, just be like this is saying, just being awake, you're going to be more, just being awake, just going about your day, you're going to be more awake, more aware, just by going about your day. Like, you just go about your day the way that you're supposed to, you will wake up. You just go about your day and you just keep on doing what you're doing and you will spiritually wake up. Your ego will eventually transcend itself. We can persist efforts to improve our conscious contact through prayer and meditation on a daily basis. So here we go with some solution, okay? These are all things that we can do to increase our strength in our spiritual awakenings, okay? And make it stronger. One, we can strive just by living our life. So, one, you can just live your life and you can fucking do cool and get your spiritual awakening. Number two, you can persist in efforts to improve your conscious contact through prayer and meditation on a daily basis. So, by incorporating prayer, which is asking for help, just simply, right? Just if you go to the definition, it's fucking real simple. Asking for help or giving gratitude. So from asking for help or giving gratitude to a power greater than myself and thinking deeply about my life, that is a way to get more in touch and grow our spiritual awakening. Another one, we can listen within for guidance we need. So you can listen within, like your brain, you will actually tell you what to fucking do. Your body will say, yo, go get some sleep. You're hungry right now. You're fucking lonely. Like your body will tell you that. And we need to listen to our body's signals in order to guide us. Like if my body's telling me that I'm hungry, then it's gonna guide me to fucking food. You know, these spiritual awakenings, this guidance is guiding you to the things you need to be fucking sober, to be healthy, to be a parent, to be a brother, to be a sister, whatever the fucking case it is. There are signs that within you telling you that you need to listen to them. Listen to the mental ones and the physical signs, guidance. That's guidance that you need. And if you're getting high, you're not going to get these signals, dude. Literally, do cocaine. You're not going to get the signal that you're hungry. It's going to suppress it, dude. Caffeine is going to suppress your fucking hunger. You know what I mean? So with drugs, you're actually suppressing the very thing that you need to listen to guide you to where you need to be. And we got another one. We can question other addicts. Number 3, we can question other addicts about their experiences with spirituality. So by asking another addict, what was your experience like? how in learning from their experience, it can guide us. Okay, maybe do this, maybe don't do this. This helped people, this didn't help people. You're doing your own research report, your own research project on how to improve your conscious contact or your spirituality, right? How to transcend your ego. And you can, that's just how to improve. That's actually practicing prayer and meditation by talking to people. You're asking them, how do you do it? And then you're thinking deeply about how you can apply that to your own life. And the final one, we can take time to appreciate the world around us. So just take time to relax, between doing recovery, cleaning up the mess of our past, maintaining all these new responsibilities and old ones. You can get mixed up in the day-to-day living, dude. Just taking time to sit down, just fucking enjoy the world around you and not fucking stress about anything, not think about anything. Just focus on taking time to appreciate the world. Take time to appreciate sunlight, to appreciate fucking nature, to appreciate wherever you're at in life. So those are a couple things that you can do to improve your spiritual awareness and hopefully strengthen your spiritual awakening over time. Now, just for today, I will reflect on spiritual awakenings I have experienced. Bro, we have a spiritual. If you learn something new every day, you have a spiritual awakening. When you learn something, you are having a spiritual awakening, and these happen every day, and they accumulate and they acquire, even for the negative things. A person who comes to believe that they are a drug addict, that's a spiritual awakening. Admitting and accepting that you're a drug addict is a spiritual awakening as a result of getting high every single day. So having had a spiritual awakening as a result of getting high every single day, more and more and more, I found out that I'm an addict. And now I've had this spiritual awakening. I thought I could control it. I couldn't control it. And that is the first step. You know what I mean? And each way you go, each step along the way, you're having a new spiritual awakening. So just for today, I will reflect on the spiritual awakenings I have experienced. I will strive to be God conscious. I will take time out in the day to appreciate my higher power's handwork. So they're saying their interpretation. Now, my interpretation is just me talking about it. And all my experience is saying all this jargon. I do not represent anything. This is just me fucking talking from my experience. They're saying that these spiritual awakenings in the Just for Today is meant as using it as a time to reflect on how these powers greater than yourself are working in your life. Take time to simply reflect on how amazing your life is, how much it's gotten better as a result of having the spiritual awakening. So how much has your life improved as a result of this subjective experience, okay? Having appreciation for the transcendence of my ego, the improvement or decrease of my self-esteem, the improvement or decrease of my self-importance, taking time to appreciate that, just because there was a time where we hadn't had that knowledge, where we hadn't had that spiritual awakening, and we may have been causing harm, and it was no bueno, not only to other people, but maybe to ourselves, whatever the case may be. So today's podcast or episode is dedicated to Mike Eddy. We talked about spiritual awakenings. We talk about how will I know when I've had a spiritual awakening? How can I increase the amount of time that I have how can I increase the probability of having a spiritual awakening, the likelihood of having a spiritual awakening? How can my spiritual awakening grow stronger throughout the day and my recovery? I hope you guys get something out of this. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment on what's a spiritual awakening for you. Well, was it great? Was it cool? Was it not? I want to know some other videos that you ask about. What do you want to see? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.